What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode. We're going on an adventure today. Headed to the junkyard real quick before they close. Definitely not filming and driving. We got to pick up some parts for the Civic, and I'm going to see if I can find the under tray for the Passat, because the yard right by my house, the yard right by my house got the exact same make, model, year, and color of Jetta over the weekend. So I'm headed over there. I'm gonna take you with me. It's gonna be all kinds of fun. See you guys there. Guys, that trip to the junkyard was fun. I think it's because the humidity's way up. It rained pretty good last night, so that Jetta that was there was totally picked over by the time I got there. So none of the stuff I was looking for was there. I ended up finding the mirror switch that we needed. I got to practice pulling apart the heater hose. That's a whole nother story. Got a bunch of screws that I needed, just the body panel screws, the ones that hold the trim on, and the fender liners and all that. So on our way back home, and we got to tear back into the Civic some more. Got the electric fan came in, the right size one, so we'll go ahead and get after that. Just keep chipping away at this stuff. See you guys when we get there. Hi guys, my name is Josh. Welcome to my haul video. Just kidding. Wednesday's hardware. So here's the two Volkswagen switches that I scored at the junkyard. The power mirror switches. So I got one for me. Woo! Trying to get away. I got one for me, one for Brian. And then a bunch of wiring stuff to fix the door in the Civic, and some cable ties that we're gonna need. So here's what I got, right? Old fan. No idea off the top of my head how many CFMs it is, but it ain't very much. I scored this Masimoto ZX tires 12-inch fan off the Amazon. This thing's 1200 CFMs. So the plan is to use this in place of this for the air conditioning fan on the Civic. But I want to keep it super low profile, and I want to keep it as stealthy as possible. So I'm going to try and reuse as much of this OG Honda equipment as I can, and just make this fan fit, if that makes any sense. We'll see what we can do, make it look good. Alright, so fiddling around with this a little bit, I got the old fan out, but it looks like with this one, if I just knock off these corners down to that same 12-inch diameter, there's these little tabs on the side where it looks like you could push a regular hex nut in. Happen to have some. I think if we can do that, just trim those tabs off, we'll just be able to push this in here. The only thing is, I'm not sure if I like this or not. So I'm gonna trim those tabs off, push the fan in there, see how it looks, and then we'll see what we wanna do. If we wanna keep this frame with these supports on it and just run the fan wires up like they were, all OG factory, or if we're gonna just cut this off and just use this fan and do something else with the wires. So
One eternity later.
Hey guys, I got a new mic. Let me know what you think. Hopefully it drowns out some of that background noise with traffic going by. Back working on the Civic this morning. I had to take a break from it. This fan thing was just killing me. Every idea I come up with is just not being successful. You know, I've hacked away a bunch of the plastic on this thing and it's starting to look a little kludged together, kind of ghetto. I'm not super happy about that. But I've got some ideas. I've decided that at this point, it's jacked anyway. I can't make it any worse. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut where I need to cut, hammer out where I need to hammer, and it is what it is. We'll see how it turns out in the end. I do want to go get some fancier screws. I got some little tiny 10 millimeter, well, M6 bolts that I scored at the junkyard, but I'm thinking as I'm looking at this, I want to do something different. So keep your eyes open. We'll see what you guys think when it's done. All right, so let's do some work. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys some of the challenges that I'm dealing with here. So one of the places I need to put a bolt goes right through this bracket, right? This is one of the ones that holds it, the top support. So I tried hammering around it, but where I've got to put the bolt goes literally right through the bracket, and I'd need to be on either side of that, have some space. So one of the things I could do, I could cut this off, you know, real careful, cut it right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. The light's kind of not as good as I'd like. But I could cut it right there and weld it real careful. And then this will just dead end. And then I can grind this away and have a spot to put a bolt. Right? This one's pretty close to one of these little brackets. But I think because the fan only needs to go part way in, it doesn't need to go super deep. Maybe I can just create a recess that goes up to that bracket. That should be no big deal, right? Here's another one. This one literally right through the middle of this. So I'm gonna double check. I don't think I'm using this bracket because the connector clip slides on there. I think I got rid of the wire that goes to that one. So if we don't need that, I'll just grind that off and that'll give us a nice smooth spot there. Come to this side, this one, forget it. It is literally right through the middle of that bracket. I don't even know what. I could try and caulk the whole thing, but then, you know, these two are easy, dead easy, right? Just in the regular sheet metal. So if I caulk this whole thing, then I end up, the closest I could do it was it'd be to put the bolt right here, and then how are you going to get to it? So maybe what I got to end up doing is just this one right here, just ignore it. Don't put a fastener in there, and hopefully that fan shroud doesn't flex enough that it's not a big deal. So if that's what I decide to do, I'm gonna have to fix this, clean up this sheet metal here where I stretched it. I don't know, that's gonna be rough, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna put some thought into this, see what I gotta figure out, see if I got any other brilliant ideas, and we'll do some more work. All right guys, so there we go. I trimmed that one off where it's gonna interfere with the bracket, and except for a couple of these not being deep enough, that actually sits down in there pretty nice. So I think I'll have to hammer these out just a little bit, make them just a tad bit deeper so the fan will sit all the way down flush. But you know, it only sticks up a little bit all the way around. I'll do that. I'll hammer those out just a little bit. We'll get that to sit down in there a little bit nicer. I'll sand up the edges so that it looks all factory fresh. And we can check the fan off the list. All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of grinding, hammering nonsense, but definitely making the little buck thing helped a lot. Got those edges a little bit smoother, so now I'm gonna sand them up. We'll get some spray paint on there, and we'll start working towards getting that fan installed. I think I'll probably test fit it, drill the holes for the hardware, and get all that situated, and then we'll paint. And I'll put you guys on after that. All right, guys, well, all my welding stuff is behind the bench where I can't get to it, so it's a good thing we ended up not having to weld anything on this. I'm just gonna sand her up a little bit, get her ready for paint, get some paint on it, and we'll get this fan done. All right, guys, I'm gonna call the fan done. We'll get our pop back in the car, wired up, good to go. I think the next couple of projects, we got to get the spikes on the wheels. We got to get the battery tie down done. I've got a whole bunch of sensors and electrical stuff to put in the motor. We've got a new coil to put in there, see if that'll help solve that kind of weird misfire thing that's going on. And we got to get a good detail on her. And I think I'm gonna do something with the trunk, and we've got the headliner and the visors left to do. So plenty of work to come on the Civic. We can get as much done as we can, and you know, just keep after it. So keep watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the content. If not, you know, leave me a comment, let me know. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you.